If you can understand English but can't speak it, you're not alone. You are part of a group that's been growing quickly in recent years. We call these people passive bilinguals, those who understand two languages but speak only one. Passive bilinguals are very common because more and more people are consuming content in English. These people understand English quite well. The problem is they don't have many opportunities to speak the language. So when they actually need to chat with someone in English, their mind goes blank. They can't do it. If this is you, there's still hope. My spoken English used to be pretty bad too, but I was able to improve it and become an active bilingual, someone who understands and speaks two languages. And I did this on my own while living in my home country, using methods that anyone with the internet can do. This means you can easily copy my approach, even if you don't have a speaking partner. In this video, I'll share 3 simple steps you can take to go from a passive to active bilingual. Step 1. Treat English like a sport, not an academic subject. Many people see English as an academic subject, like math, physics, or chemistry. So when they try to improve their speaking, they study English instead of practicing it. They focus on learning tenses, adverbs, prepositions, and they memorize all these different grammar rules. But here's the deal. Studying may help you get good scores on English exams, but it's not very useful in real-life conversations. Unlike taking tests where you have time to think through the right answers, real conversations require quick responses. When the other person makes a comment or asks a question, you need to respond immediately. There's no time to think about grammar. No time to carefully construct each sentence in your head. You see, speaking English is more like a sport than an academic subject. It requires you to think and react quickly. To improve a fast-paced skill like this, you need a lot of practice. Think about it. During a conversation, you need to think about what to say, come up with the right words, and construct your sentences on the spot. And you need to do all of this very quickly. It takes tremendous practice and experience. So if you want to speak English well, the first step is to study less and practice more. But how exactly should you practice speaking? Let's move on to the next step. Step 2. Kickstart your speaking with imitation practice. Do you still remember how you learned your first language? How did you become fluent without studying grammar? Did you just talk to yourself alone without any input or feedback? Of course not. You didn't learn your first language in a vacuum. You relied on input from your parents and other adults around you. When you were a baby, people would talk to you constantly, providing you with input, and you learned to speak by copying the words and phrases they used. Basically, you learned your first language through input and imitation, especially in the beginning. So, if you want to speak English well, use the same approach. Learn to speak English by imitating native speakers. It's the best way to get started. When you repeat after a native speaker, you're learning sentence structures, you're practicing vocabulary, and you're improving your pronunciation. I mean, this practice is so powerful. It's why my speaking has improved a lot since my first YouTube videos. I've been using this method for a long time now. Let me show you how to practice imitation.
All right. So my favorite food has to be pizza.
Alright, so my favorite food has to be pizza.
Seriously, I could eat it every day.
Seriously, I could eat it every day. I could eat pizza every day.
I like to have it while watching a movie or when I have friends over.
I like to have it while watching a movie. I like to have pizza while watching a movie.
But honestly, It's the perfect food for any occasion.
It's the perfect food for any occasion. Pizza is the perfect food for any occasion. As you can see, this method is beginner-friendly. If you don't know how to form sentences or engage in conversation, this is the perfect method for you. Give it a try. But of course, imitation is not the same as having a real conversation. In an actual conversation, you can't copy sentences from someone else, right? You need to think and speak in your own words. So it's okay to focus on just imitation in the beginning. It's a great method to learn the basics. But once you reach an intermediate level, you should add a more advanced practice to your routine so you can improve faster. So let's move on to the final step. Step 3. Level up your fluency with AI chatbots. Variety is important for skill development. If you only copy native speakers and never talk to anyone, your progress will be slow. To improve a complex skill like speaking English, you need to challenge yourself and actually engage in conversations. Unlike imitation practice, chatting with someone requires you to search for words and form sentences on your own. The benefit of this is obvious. When you recall a word and use it in a sentence, that word gets stronger in your memory and easier to recall in the future. And the more you construct sentences by yourself, the better and faster you get. So, conversation practice will help you think and respond more quickly. It's a great exercise to improve your speed and fluency. Ideally, you should chat with someone who is fluent in English. Someone who uses a wide range of vocabulary and speaks with proper grammar. This way, you can pick up new words and improve your grammar. And this is where AI chatbots come into play. AI chatbots like ChatGPT or Gemini speak fluent English. If you practice with them, you don't need to worry about picking up incorrect grammar or mispronunciations. It's way more effective than chatting with other learners. And unlike native speakers, these chatbots are available 24/7. This is the easiest way to practice English conversation. Here's a clip of me practicing with a chatbot. Hi, I want to practice speaking English. Can you help me?
Of course. What's something you're interested in discussing?
I'm not sure. Can you suggest a topic?
How about we talk about your day?
Yeah, we can do that. The problem is, my English isn't very good. So, can you talk about your day first? I want to hear an example and maybe learn some useful words and phrases from you.
Sure. Today, I started my morning with a cup of coffee. Then I worked on some projects.
Let's go slowly. You started your morning with a cup of coffee, right?
Yes, exactly. Then I worked on some projects.
Okay, you worked on some projects. Got it. What else did you do?
In the afternoon, I took a break and went for a walk. Later, I read a book.
So you took a break and went for a walk. That must have been great, right?
It was great. The weather was nice and it was relaxing.
As you can see, this is a fun and interactive way to practice speaking. So, in addition to imitation practice, make sure to talk to an AI chatbot as well. Trust me, you'll improve faster if you mix up your practice like this. At first, you don't have to practice with a chatbot every day. Maybe start with once or twice a week and gradually increase the frequency as you get more comfortable. But honestly, it's up to you how often you want to do it. Whatever chatbot you're using, there's a good chance it can understand your native language. So if your English isn't very good, you can explain what you want to do, how you want to practice in your native language, then switch to English for practice. I wish these chatbots had been available when I was starting out. My speaking would have improved much faster. It's so much easier to improve your spoken English today. So take advantage of these AI chatbots.